Hi guys, it's me Chris Army back once again with some more starters on at 6. Now, we come to the end of the season and as I said in the last video, I wanted to book some races, so I've gone ahead and done that. I found races where I could. We got one horse to sell. I moved everybody else then into the field. They're done for the season. Nothing really in the last month that I feel they could be really competitive at. And in a few of the cases, including our best two horses or distance horses, the Starboard Bow and Miss Swan, there just wasn't any races at all. So what we've got here is Arctic Party ready to sail, Design for Luck, Burnick and Rindanica. I'm gonna get these names right sooner or later. They're all off to the fairgrounds in a few days for the LA Champions. They got different races, but all at 6 furlongs. We got a mile 3 for Destiny's Calls. That's an allowance race at Sunland Park. Almost a week later, the Riley Allison Futurity for Delicious over a mile. The Mile El Prado at Gulfstream towards the end of the year for Cadu Dal. And on the last day, the Alex M. Robb 1 mile race. So, it's not too bad. Out in the field, as you can see, 1 to 5, Glingermill, Starboard Bow, Miss Swan, Heroes Tribute, Padlock and Gentleman JJ. Nothing really for them. They've had good seasons. We've had a phenomenal season as a stable. 50 wins in 98. I'm not sure, looking at these, that we're going to get... If we lose those two, we'd have to win 3 out of the remaining 5. So yeah, if we get 3 out of these 7, we'll actually be 50% or over 50% for the season and our career, which would be phenomenal. 2 million in prize money would take us above. I don't think there's enough money in these races. So let's get around to the next race. There isn't an auction coming up, so we might as well just skip through here. And yeah, let's get into some races. 3 today, and then 1 each on 4 days to round up the season. Maybe an auction along the way too. But first, the races. So we got 3 races today. Let's make sure we don't skip any. There we go. Design for Luck, the favourite. Top weight but best horse. Rob the Vet is another horse we want to be looking out for, and possibly ban a headline depending how agitated or maybe just keen they end up being. So we'll see where this goes, but it could be a good race and a good end to the season. So see what kind of start we get, and it's okay. Horse being restrained early. Likes to run from the back. Not sure if we have what it takes to come through on this one. And it looks like second place there on the line. That's not too bad. That's a decent start. It's not the win that we would have liked, but okay. Interesting opening race. Could have settled better. Didn't really get as much in that as we wanted. Here is our new horse, Rindanica. Ika, not Sia, as I've been saying. Not run for us. Didn't run very well in its last race. We've got 2 actually up here. So this being the first one. Louis Expectation and or Lose Expectation and High Expectations. Okay, competitive field. Let's just see what our new horse can do. Will it do enough to persuade us to run with it over the course of the second season or not? The LA Champion Sprint. That's a decent start. Nice bay horse. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can get a better view. And we'll speed up until we're coming back round off the turn, about 2.5 to 2 out. Not too bad at the moment. Let's see now, lining up for the straight, so here comes the chasing pack. Rindanica is gonna be caught maybe here on the outside. Lake Point is coming through, and I think Throw Me a Curve just took us on the outside, but no, that is a second place. So Rindanica is going to get difficult for me to get used to saying that name, but half a length back, that's okay. Held on as well in the fight for the line, so I'm fairly happy with that. That's a good second place, I feel. A nice opening up there. The horse's breathing was a little loud. Does that mean I need to do a wind up on the horse? I think it does. So I think this horse can get better. And our third horse of the day is Burnick. She is the favourite. She is not top weight. She's actually a very good weight for this race. So fingers crossed that we can pull off a good win here. But I wouldn't be too unhappy if it wasn't. Again, we're looking for top threes, and I think these races suit. Not the world's greatest start. Again, this is only 6 furlongs, so it's nice to see Burnick go into the front. Maybe not so much to the front, not with this like 8 horse chasing pack we've got lining up here. So it's a nice run by Style Champ, but it's only got ahead of the pack. It does not look like any horse can get near Burnick. And that was a nice run. I really did feel that sort of a challenge from Style Champ. It looked like it had all the pace in the world, all the space in the world. And yeah, it looked quite good. That horse did look fairly good, but Burnick picks up the win. And that is 3 in a row. I thought there was 2 in a row, but that's 3 in a row now, actually, for Burnick. Absolutely fantastic. Finishing off the season on a real high. That's another 60,000 in prize money. So, now that our 3 horses have run, Design for Luck, second place, Burnick opening up with a win. So a quick look there, closing down that potential, little by little. That's going to be the end of their seasons. And I believe we might have needed Rindanica to get a wind up. Let's spend $1,000 on that. I don't think it does any harm even if you don't need it, so I'd err on the sense of caution there, just to make sure. So we've got 1 horse running in a little over a week, 3 at the end of the season, and 1 today. We've got an auction tomorrow. So Destiny Calls, let's see, first, third, second, first. That's a nice little run. Hopefully we continue that upward trend, grabbing another first place. Let's go see. So where are you? There we go. Destiny's Calls, top rated, top weighted as well, but I don't think it's that bad a weight for the rating. So once again, we're looking for top 3, hoping for top of the entire grid here. So a mile 3. And there we go. It's a pretty poor start from us. Swinging Ghost getting up well ahead. Grey Ruby and Silver Sands of Time. There's Grey Ruby now taking up the charge, and our lovely Grey Destiny Calls up in a second place. So let's speed this up a little bit. I'm not sure if the back runners are actually closers. I think Savage Beauty might be. That name rings a bell. It might just be the Beauty I've seen on a different horse, which was a closer. So there might be a late charge from the back. Apart from that, again, our horse is going to the front, and we do have more success when we're at the front or second place for most of the race. Coming around the turn, and here we go. Just starting now into the straight. It looks like Scooting George is trying to make a move here. Up in a second place. Skip Command is coming with. Destiny Calls is not going to hold them off. They're not going to run out of steam. Scooting George takes it. Skip Command sells for third. A nice second place again, I feel there. That is a decent result at the end of it all. What horse beat us? The lowest rated, or second lowest rated in the entire field. The longest shot. The oldest horse. Was carrying fairly low weight. And jumped up to a 97. That was a great race there for Scooting George. You can see what a 10-year-old season he's had. Sort of starting at the bottom, working his way up. Nice. It's not too bad from us. Didn't have the pace. Pretty suit well enough, yeah. Okay, so there were a few things not quite right in that, but I think it was a good run. I really do think that was a good run. So Destiny Calls, your season's done. 117, and not bad potential finish there. Send the horses out to grass. Down to 4. The unbeaten Delirious is up next. First we're going to go to the auction, and we're selling Arctic Party. What else is there? Dawn of the Condor. I've seen that a lot, but I don't feel like buying it. Manny's Mistake. Nature Chant. I mean, I could look at those two, I guess. We're gonna see what Arctic Party goes for anyway, and it's a very decent price for what isn't that good a horse, I don't think. So yeah, I'm very happy to get that much money for Arctic Party. That means that we can easily go and pick up Manny's Mistake and Nature Chant now. That's not going to be too much of an issue. So, interesting. That was a horse that didn't have much potential at all. I didn't really think that we should be persevering with it and training and racing it. I didn't think there was enough there to truly work with. So, to see it go for 2.2 plus million is surprising, but very pleasing at the same time. So I'm quite happy with that. So let's have a look what Manny's Mistake goes for. Don't climb really high really quickly. 5s, 1-7, 1-8. I'm gonna let him have it. Nature Chant. Stay low. Stay low. If I can get you for under 700, I'll be happy. And I don't think there's any issues with that at all right now. There we go. We swap out an unraced 2-year-old female with no potential for an unraced 2-year-old female with probably no potential. Let's have a look at Grand Reefer for a second. What distance? Mile 1 was raced at a 6. Front rank halfway faded. And that's cheap, okay. Again, I don't think that horse is actually going to be anything. But at that price, we can afford to take a risk. We walk away from the auction with a lot more money than we actually had going in. So, that's not a bad thing. That's never a bad thing. Sadly, both these horses listed for auction. Just because they're not that good. So, let's skip on a little bit. And hopefully we get no more interruptions. I did have a Skype call, so I had to pause the recording. So yes, where were we? Ah yes, 4 races to go. Delirious and Carudal with a star who's improved recently, and Rindanica just to finish off the season. And what do we got? We got a couple of auctions after this, I think. Yeah, we got 2 auctions. So there's still a chance that something fun will show up. There is Delirious, top horse. Top weight, 10 points in rating. 9 points extra than Crown Gold, and an extra rating over Trace Marks. I think us 3 might be the top 3. We are seeing a few sort of outside shots coming in at this stage of the season. Perhaps those lightly raced horses that just have false sort of low ratings at this stage. Let's zoom in, and that's a fairly nice start. It's a fairly nice start. Crown goes up with us. Runaway Love wants to take this one out in the lead. Delirious is happy to trot alongside. Unshaded, Trademark, Peep and Tom. I'd expect one of those to be a closer and to really sort of want to race on. And there goes Runaway Love. Here comes, though, Delirious, and he is going to burn past Runaway Love, but not pull away. Here comes the pull away. And a mile. What's this? Crown Gold is making a great move here to get into the fight, but it's not going to be enough. Delirious will go the season unbeaten for us. 5 races out of 5 for this very nice 2-year-old. And I'm very happy with that, to be fair. So we won a maiden, an allowance, a grade 2 race, and then a couple of other allowances. All feature races apart from its maiden. Ran hot once. Yeah, that was all quite nice. I think we've gained a bit of stamina. We could run up to a mile 2 with this horse, probably from a 3-year-old. He'll probably be running at distance. He's a large build horse, loves a quick track. And yeah, we've pretty much filled that potential. I think we're like 1% out. But there's more to come from Delirious. I'm very, very happy there. Let's go see. Nothing at the end of the day as expected. Let's put him out to grass. He's earned his rest. And if we look in the field, we do have Miss Swan unbeaten over the season, Delirious unbeaten over the season, 2-year-old colt, 3-year-old filly, and Miss Swan, of course, did win the Triple Crown earlier on this season, so that is absolutely fantastic. We'll buy a diagnosis as Miss Swan. We're trying not to leave her injured or whatever. I'm not really sure if that affects them in the field or not, but To be perfectly honest with you, I'd rather not worry too much about it. So Grand Reefer and Nature Chant are going out. Unruler Bull. Unique Creek. Yeah, there are a couple I could take a risk on here, but you know what? I just want to see what these go for. Reefer's going for nothing. Pretty much what we bought him for. Nature Chant. I think we did buy for more, but we have driven that price up. Only one real bidder for it, so that puts our money back up and leaves us with just 3 horses on the roster right now. In breeding, why is Crossed available all of a sudden? Wires Crossed to no breeding this close. So sadly, Wires Crossed did not breed, and neither did Royal Liverpool. Drive time, Montauk, and a point victory. I'll probably look at this again. Actually, I'll look at it now and decide if anyone needs to be released, because at the end of the season, I'm going to have to wait an entire season to sort of retire people. So let's have a look at what we can do though. Okay, I've decided to relieve the 2 horses, 2 stallions here, Montauk Highway and a point victory, from breeding duties. They're going to be retired at the end of this season, as are the 2 which didn't take, Royal Liverpool and Wires Crossed. I don't think they're good enough. And next season we'll probably release most, if not all, of the rest of these. Maybe keeping Drive Time. I think he's still got a little bit about him, and we'll see how we feel about these fillies and mares. See if there's any brood mares that we can sort out. But right now I think that's a good place to leave the breeding after this season. That is 5 yearlings that we are going to get. So let's jump around. Thursday 28th, Carudal is up. And here we go. Favorite, top rated, lowest weight bar Traffic Chief, who's parading a little lazily. So, Gulfstream Park, let's see if Carudal can round out the season in a little bit of style. I know he's had some issues. I still believe in this horse, and I do think there is more to come. That is an okay start. Nothing huge. Traffic Chief, Ed Miracle up the front with Carudal. Cowboy Code now falling away a little. Eddington, My Buddy Richie, and Irish Tea right at the back. So now, little over 5 furlongs to go. Carudal here seems to be ridden as a stalker, and people making their moves around now, ready to run. Does Carudal have the space to run? Yes, he can go on the inside, and he's catching up to number 7, but here comes the charge. And what a field this was. Look at this dive for the line. We're gonna get 5th probably there, right on the line. That is very disappointing. By a head. Cowboy Code did well there. Did really well to sort of hold people off, and that's a good win. Irish Tie, Eddington, My Buddy Richie coming up from the back, and sadly sadly blowing us away in parts. So Caradal, not the end of the season that I'd hoped for. It's our worst finish of the year, in fact, and yeah, not the best, but we'll see where Caradal ends up as a 4-year-old. Let's have a little bit of clarity and a little bit of time to see what that actually turns out. That's right. Questionable World. 3 Group 2s. Came 4th in a Grade 1, 3rd in a Grade 1. Yeah, okay. Depending on how much that goes for, I'd be interested. Maybe just for breeding, but then again, it's 7-year-old. It'll be 8 but next season. Let's not. So, Caradal out to grass. And this should be the last day of the season. So, we have Witherstar and Rindanica here. So, Witherstar will be the first of the two. Top weight, top rating. July Child might have a nice advantage at this stage. Let's jump in and see how they run. And the penultimate race for the season. I believe we are in very, very good position over the course of this year. We've built up the stable really well. We've got some brilliant racers right now. We've got some potential breeders. And we've got horses with a lot of room to develop. So we just sort of make our way to the chasing pack. I like that. Silver Whistle and Water Cannon at the back. Ready Gal, Midnight Charlie, Mambo Train, and July Child just chasing us down. Us with Novelty Dreamer and Biddy's Lad out in front. So, as we round the turn, here comes the charge. And it's going to be a late one for us, but we seem to just have the edge. We're going to be fighting with Novelty Dreamer for the line. Novelty Dreamer pulling ahead. We make a late charge, and there's 3 or 4 horses that kind of crossed as one. Us, Novelty Dreamer, and there was these 2 on the outside. And he got it by a nose. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. That is absolutely fantastic. Short heads all around. That is just superb. So Silver Whistle moves up to a 97. Water Cannon's up to a 99. None of those have won any graded races. That hasn't won for a long, long time. And that one hasn't won at all this season. Novelty Dreamer is a decent horse. Won a couple of things, including in Group 3. I felt that would be our best challenger. It's the only actual name that I knew of. July Child didn't quite get into the mix. Sort of faded out a little bit. But yeah, I'm very happy with that sort of that finish. Slightly hampered, but not really enough. So with the stars up to 113, that is a nice finish. I'm really happy with that end to the season there. So we'll see where his potential grows as a 4-year-old, and if he can start moving into those Group 1 wins. And yeah, fingers crossed, but that's a promising sign. Wasn't the most difficult of fields to compete against, but nevertheless, I believe that was a nice run and a good finish under pressure in that race to the line. So, Rindanica, top rated horse. Middleweight. The 2 below don't look too much of a threat. Sweating badly. City and State is keen. That might run a little nicely. We're a little lazy. That's not the best sometimes. But last race of the season. And Rindanica here with a lot to prove and a lot to live up to if you look at the rest of the stablemates. So let's see, what can we do here on the outside? We're off quite nicely. Ourselves on high expectations, driving out quite nicely. But we're not being left behind. We've got Introspect, City and State and Buzzleways right there with us. Political Attack and High Expectations drop towards the back. Sloat Boulevard as well is there. Rounding the turn, we move back to the front just before the sprint. We've got a few closers here and they are closing down really quick. We will not hold those off on current pace. Rindanica really needs to drive for the line if we are actually going to win this. Looks like they're all out. Introspect diving for the line, but I think that's about ahead for Rindanica. And that rounds off the season, maybe closer to half a length. Rounds us off with a win. That is beautiful stuff. So second place and first since we took over Rindanica. And yeah, that's again a nice little improvement on this colt. We got it very late in the year, and it might actually turn into something. So let's see where we are with this as a 4-year-old horse. Excellent stuff. We'll go now then to the end of year awards. We see the top jockey is P. Dominguez. That is not our jockey. The top trainer, that is me, Chris Almy. And yeah, apparently we've only got 2 horses because all the rest are in the field. But 12 staff members, 14 Group 1 wins, 7 Group 2, 13 Group 3, 18.35 million in season earnings. And we won 54 of 106, which puts us at 50%, a little over 50% actually. If we'd have won one less race, if we ran and won... No, if we just have won one less, if that hadn't been a win and got a second place, we'd actually be dead on 50%. So that's a brilliant season. Duran is the top apprentice. 15% winners there. So it's going to be number 1. So what do we got here? The top flat horse with 100% 12 out of 12 record, 10.27 million is Miss Swan. Hardly surprising. CR Trout has the top flat stayer in Gold Timber. Eastern Sand is the sprinter of Sam Dronan, who owns quite a few nice horses in fact. St. Damien is the top 2-year-old. Good to know, and that does look like a nice horse. I've seen it a few times, and now we're actually going to start following him. And as a 3-year-old, we'll be able to see exactly what he can do. The top flat 3-year-old is Miss Swan, and the top flat 4 and above is the Starboard Bow, 8 out of 17, just 47%. Not too bad at all. 6 million there, almost 6.1 in prize money. So between it and Miss Swan, we made a little over 16.4 million really. So nearly 16 and a half. That'll be, oh sorry, 16 and a quarter, 16.3. Yeah, that's quite a nice little horse. Miss Swan and Starboard Bow did really well at times. A couple of second places probably should have won, but that's really nice to see. We got the top horse and we got the top 4 and up horse. We are going to keep an eye on the 2-year-old. Like I say, that's going to be probably in the running for the Triple Crown. So St. Damien goes on our shortlist. And yeah, that is going to do it for us. I'm going to go off now and look at some horses. Maybe buy 1 or 2, ready for next season. We've got a lot of decisions now to make when we look at our new horses. Who goes in the breeding barn? Who gets a season of racing? Who isn't going to make it? and exactly where do we go from, and what kind of horses do we need moving forward. I've been Chris Hormy. Thanks for sticking with us through Season 2 of Starters Order 6, and I hope you come back for more. See you later.